Thanks for tuning into this watch-along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on this surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but
There was some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that, but I tell you, 4 championship points. Does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game. I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
play.
Hey Nick, how are you doing?
Hey, John. I'm all right. Good to see you.
I'm going to turn my lights off behind me, but keep the ones in front. But anyway, go.
I was going to say it's nice to speak to you again. For those who may not know, we literally just saw each other 15 minutes ago when we were talking about Jack Draper versus Andrei Rublev, who have finished on Louis Armstrong Stadium, and we are waiting for Ons Jabeur and Zheng Qinwen to get started. They are on the court now. They are about to start the warm-up. We are here for it, and I know a lot of you are too. I'm interested to see how this one works out.
I was just going to see head-to-head. I think this is only the second appearance from Zheng at the US Open, right?
Definitely a second appearance in a major fourth round.
Yeah, I think it's only her second appearance at the US Open. She has a 5-1 record. At least that's what my TV said.
Yeah, I'm going to check it.
I'm also going to see which one of you or me is ahead of each other, and then I will then let the one who's ahead commentate while the second person gives us their thoughts at the various junctures that we have.
Yeah, to answer your question, John, this is her second appearance. Her first appearance and her debut last year was the 2022 US Open, which she got to the third round. I've got Ons standing ready to serve. Ons is standing at the end. I've got the graphics on screen with the names, and she's bouncing the ball, getting ready to serve, and serves up the tee. Zheng Qinwen gets into play. Forehand on Jabeur, winner.
Yeah, you're about. Seems for some reason you're ahead of me. Are you still using Sky to tune in?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, so maybe mine today, for one reason or other, is slightly behind. What we'll do, therefore, is I'll do a bit of commentary for this first game, and then I'll come to you for some thoughts. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Cool. So 15 love. Jabeur is off the mark, at least in terms of the first point. Actually, I will just ask you a quick question, Nick. Prediction. And I want people in the live chat to do the same. Who are you predicting today?
Jabeur.
Is it going to be another 3-setter?
2 tight sets. One will be a tight 7-6, 7-5.
Yeah.
No, 7-5, 7-6.
It's going to be tight. I think a lot depends on just how healthy Jabeur is. Obviously, she's had a few sickness issues in the build-up to or during this tournament. I mean, nothing too crazy, but we know she mentioned it in her on-court interview after her first-round match. It did seem to be a slight issue after her second-round match. I spoke to someone from her team who said it's not a big issue, but wouldn't elaborate too much more. Nevertheless, she's had 3 3-setters, of course, so far. Okay, we are 15 all here, at least on my screen. We're exchanging slices right now. And for me, that's obviously a strength of Jabeur's. What is the slice of Qinwen Zheng like? I mean, it seems to be okay.
Yeah, it's about as good as anyone else on the women's tour. But then the slice is not necessarily always deployed on the women's tour. Or it's done by certain players who know how to deploy it well. So yeah, it's fine. It's not. I think Jabeur will have the better slice today. By the way, need to say that Jabeur versus Osorio did not go 3. It was a very close match. It was 2 very close sets, 5 and 6.
Oh, okay. Her first round, yeah. Thanks for correcting me on that one. By the way, we've got 32 people across our various platforms tuning in right now. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you can see, the 2 players on my screen. The score is currently 30 all on the Jabeur serve. So a little bit of pressure for the Tunisian to deal with already. She goes into the net on her first serve. So it's a second serve for Qinwen Zheng to have a look at here. It's a pretty tough run from here on in. In fact, I would even say from the previous round for Ons. That's a good depth there, by the way, there for her. That's a good forehand from her. Qinwen on the defense, but it's pretty good defense from her. Jabeur comes into the net. She's got a tricky volley to deal with. And of course, she deals with it. She's so good.
So brilliant, yeah.
40-30. Yeah, 40-30. I've already got a comment in the live chat, and I mustn't neglect that, of course. Hi, Terry. Terry's tipping Ons. Yes, so get in the live chat and let us know. You can tell us in how many sets, but more importantly, just tell us who is winning, in your opinion, Jabeur or Zheng. I'm going Jabeur as well. You know, the experience and the know-how. And she does win this first game. Elaborate a little bit more on this match and your thoughts, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's going to depend on On's physical condition and how she's recovering from this virus. I would say I think she'll have a little bit of variety that will frustrate Zheng Qinwen. I can't. I think that's going to be enough to disrupt because Zheng Qinwen's a big hitter, and she will probably want to try and out hit Ons. Ons actually copes quite well with big hitters because of her ability to use the slice, because she's willing to come into the net and rush them. And if she deploys that tactic well here, I think I can see something similar. I don't think Zheng likes things being disruptive, really. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets along. But she's certainly started off well on my screen.
Biggest story of the day so far at the US Open for me would be Madison Keys' straight set win over Pegula.
Yes, I was not calling that at all. Did you watch any of that?
Well, I'll tell you what I can say is I was all over Vondrousova's three set win over Peyton Stearns, but I was keeping an eye. But it was just an eye. But the most startling statistic, at least according to TNNS, was 5 winners off the racket of Pegula, which was dwarfed by around about 18 off the racket. I think you're just going to verify those stats, are you, Nick? I can see.
I'm going to check it. Yeah.
Yeah, great, good idea. But I'm sure it's not a way out. So I have something.
No, I think the USO. I'm just going for the US Open site because they obviously TNNS get it where they can get it from. So it's not necessarily your memory I'm questioning. It's
what's US Open saying?
So what?
What's US Open saying? Therefore,
I'm having a look now. Match recap of Keys versus Pegula. I mean, their stats aren't like super comprehensive, but they do the job. So yeah, we have
winners and unforced errors.
6 winners from Pegula, 21 winners from Keys. So yeah, about that. I think the big thing as well is unforced errors. Pegula 20, Keys 19. Pegula making that many unforced errors is super unusual, really. And I think Keys has a big game, and I wasn't expecting it to disrupt Pegula that much, but she did it to great effect. So I caught the second set. So I'm not sure how she was in the first. Maybe she was bothering Pegula a little bit, but I think judging by the stats, Pegula was just off today.
I saw Pegula walk off court, and it was sort of a sad. I mean, I know most defeated players have a certain demeanor, but I just wonder if she turned up today. I'm not gonna go down that quarterfinal route or semi-final with Sabalenka, but I think on the day she did not perform. That's my very, very limited knowledge.
She might be making up for it though, because she and Goff have just won the first set against Kostyuk and Rus.
Nice. And when you mentioned that she was in the doubles, I was wondering which way that would go. By the way, we're at 1 game all here between Jabeur and Zheng. We've got dozens of you joining us this evening, which is wonderful. I say this evening. It depends on where in the world you are. If you're in Hawaii, it may still be morning. Actually, I don't even think Hawaii is in the morning. It's now in the afternoon there. Somewhere in the world, it's morning. Asia,
Australia.
Basically. In fact, in 4 minutes from now, it's going to be morning in Greece too, because just as it hits midnight in Greece. And of course, the Middle East and several other parts of the world. But it doesn't matter. Let me know where in the world you are tuning in from, by the way.
It's nice to see Dreamt in the chat. I haven't seen Dreamt for a while.
Oh, yeah. I vaguely remember Dreamt 10 assists as well. Vondrousa. Yes, indeed. She did seem to have an arm injury. I'll be interested. That was basically my next bigger story, if you like.
I was actually going to say, I don't know if you've seen, because I've had a quick scroll through Twitter between whilst we were resting, and Vondroushova has just pulled out of the doubles with Strycova, which has officially ended Strycova's career as a result.
Sorry, but I don't want to be disrespectful to Strycova, but when you said just pulled out, I was like, what? Okay. Yeah.
No,
okay,
but there's footage of her with ice on her elbow, like crying into Strycova's arms in the gym. So yes, it's the doubles, but it was a big deal for Strycova because it was Strycova's last tournament. So obviously it's letting her down to a certain extent. But also, that's a sign that she couldn't recover in time to play. Now, does that mean that she's not going to be okay to play Madison Keys? No,
today?
but I would imagine trying to deal with pain, like some kind of elbow problem, whilst playing against a big hitting like Keys. That's going to put her at a bit of a disadvantage. She does have the game to disrupt Keys' power, as she did with Peyton Stearns today. But I think I was thinking Vondrousova might be the favourite for that one, but after seeing that, I'm starting to lean towards Keys.
Yeah. Yeah,
winning
I
that one.
noticed it with Vondrousova during the first set tiebreak. I would imagine it was lingering before, and it may even have been there before the match. It just reached a point in the tiebreak when she actually hit a forehand winner cross court. Unbelievable. She did not celebrate it at all. It was to make it 4-3. She then went on to lose the next 3 points and that first tiebreak. By the way, here we have a break point for Qinwen Zheng. She actually had 2, but she missed the first. Nick, can you talk us through this next point for me?
Yeah, so it's 15-40 on the Zheng serve, and Zheng is and on the Jabeur serve. So opportunities for Zheng to get a break up, but she's put the forehand over the baseline, and it's 30-40. Jabeur has saved 1 break point.
Nice. I'm actually probably going to let you do some of this. I'll tell you why. Even though you're a few seconds ahead, you're nicely in sync with the scoreboard. Ghosty, hi. Nice to have you on board. Long time no see. Keynes is kind of the American Sakura. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but maybe this is the one. Maybe.
Jabeur ace to save the break point. So deuce on the Jabeur serve. So I continue your point about Keys. Actually, no. We'll maybe finish your point about Keys after this.
Definitely,
First serve into the net from on Jabeur. She's bouncing the ball here. She does not need another tough match. She's had a bit of a tough draw, as I kind of predicted, because they were players all in good form, and the illness hasn't helped. Backhand from Zheng to the backhand of Jabeur. She goes for the drop shot. It goes in the net. Advantage Zheng, and it is another breakpoint opportunity for the young Chinese player in her second US Open. I hadn't realized it was a second US Open. That's usually a sign that if someone's going deep into their first couple of US Opens, they're going to be a contender for US Opens for a while. That seems to be a trend across the men's and the women's. Anyway,
another breakpoint
goes up the tee, goes wide. Bounces the ball, gets ready for this. On Jabeur. Goes body serve. Zheng, but it's a double fault. And Zheng has broken already 2-1.
On's making life difficult for herself, as she so often does, much to the chagrin of her team, but probably herself as well. Yeah, I've just seen that one. I mean, the first one was way out. Second one was a bit closer. She probably was taking a bit of a risk there. Question about the Qinwen toss. Well, what I would say is that her serve is basically the biggest weapon that Zheng has. Is that right?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, I haven't properly watched the Zheng match, probably since she gave Iga a headache in the 2022 Roland Garros 4th round. And I remember her thinking, good grief, this guy's got a big game.
The only person at that year's French Open really to give Iga any trouble, if memory serves.
That's right, yeah, only wanted to get a set. Even Goff in the final couldn't compete. So I'll keep a close eye on this Zheng serve, just to see.
It may look in a way a bit not worse, but a bit more accentuated, because actually Jabeur's toss is not particularly high.
I mean, I have seen Zheng play in person. I watched a bit of her match with Siniakova at Wimbledon this year. I just stopped by court 5, I think it was, or court 7, like one of the smaller courts, just to keep an eye on it. Because I thought her and Siniakova might have an interesting contest.
Just something I'm sharing on the screen here. It's an article by David Kane at tennis.com from a couple of weeks ago, where Qinwen Zheng was having some toss issues, funnily enough. Nervous hitch in her service toss didn't hinder her against Venus Williams. But so it's interesting that there is actually a headline regarding her service motion just a couple of weeks ago. But as I say, it is often cited as a big strength for her. If you want to talk us through this next game, which of course Zheng looks to consolidate.
Yeah. 15-love, unreturnable serve. Yeah, big serve from Zheng. I've just had a look at that. Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the toss is actually, for me, not the toss itself, it's where the racket is. It's almost like an L shape that she just brings down like that. Not a very good example because I'm very constricted for space here. But yeah, I find that the motion overall interesting. One I'd have to ask Jack about as a coach. They're trading at the minute, backhand slice from Zheng, counter slice from Jabeur, backhand properly hit by Zheng, and Jabeur puts a forehand into the net, 30 love. Chinese
nice
player.
Qinwen.
Yeah, definitely. She's looking to back up the break. She's going to need to do that against a top player like Ons Jabeur. I do have to say, I don't know if I fully agree with this, with the narrative that I've just seen someone put in the chat, that Ons has barely been winning matches, but then again, I've slept through most of them. But certainly
what it might mean is it could be just slightly misconstrued in that she's just barely winning them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think that's what's meant, which I would kind of agree with. But I think the deciders have been fairly decisive. But
okay,
there's been a couple of she's had to get a couple of really close tie breaks. So it is Zheng, as Jabeur can't get a racket on properly on that Zheng passing shot attempt, and it's 40 love.
Anastasia, if you get a picture of the two players in the same shot, maybe as they approach their chairs, and tweet it out there, I'll share, like, subscribe, you name it. And I'll also put it up on the screen as well, Anastasia, if you can. But don't worry if not. You've already been providing us with some pretty tip-top footage anyway. 40 love here on the Zheng serve.
Yeah, 40 love indeed. Again, goes for a big serve out wide, and Jabeur goes long. It's she couldn't really get anything on it, and it's a game to Zheng. She leads 3-1. Can I just pay a quick compliment to Anastasia? Absolutely loving the content from the US Open. It's a really nice sort of on-the-ground view of everything, and it's actually making me want to go visit. So you've got me going from maybe I'll go to Indian Wells instead to kind of being, oh, maybe actually US Open's cooler.
Yeah, I would err towards the US Open, not because I've been to both. I've only been to the US Open, but it's just because it's a bit more accessible. And actually, just New York is a very expensive city, but it might still end up being cheaper than your trip to Indian Wells. But no, absolutely. And Nick's not the only one. Plenty of people have been making comments in the chat. Even Ghosty is impressed. So he's one of the toughest audiences out there. So yeah, there you go.
And you know what, Ghost, it is pretty bad that I have to live under a staircase. It is true, but we get by.
Yeah.
All right, cool. 15-all on the Jabeur service game. She's hoping to get a service game on the board, not the service game on the board, but Zheng is not making this easy at all. And what Jabeur does not need is another loss. Gets a first serve, but it's a monster return from Qinwen right in the corner of the court, and it's 15-30. What on earth was that? That is just brilliant returning from the Chinese player. First serve into the net from Jabeur, probably because she's under pressure from what just happened there. That would rattle anyone, to be honest, seeing your serve coming back to you with interest. Second serve, Zheng steps in to receive on the backhand. They trade backhands at the minute. Jabeur goes up the middle. Zheng changes direction. Jabeur puts the running forehand into the net, and it's 15-40. At the minute, Zheng's power is absolutely bossing this match.
Indeed, the power. I did see a comment, I think, from Elena in the chat regarding a few stray forehands on the grass earlier this year. But yeah, I've not seen Zheng in person. Do we know the lineup, by the way, for the WTA event in San Diego? It'd be amazing if she's there, although probably if she goes much further in this tournament, she'll pull out.
Well, before I want to say that was another return winner on the backhand up the middle of the court from inside out from Zheng to get to 4-1 double break.
Wow.
I will have a look. I think it has come out. I would have to look it up, to be honest. Probably has San Diego Open. Yeah, because we've got someone on the ground there, haven't we?
Yeah, Vonch is going to be there. So I'm just thinking that Zheng is such a big draw, but so is Jabeur, by the way. I don't know whether their ego is probably just going to head back to Europe, I guess. I mean, I don't know what
Well,
commitment she
she
might.
wants to play Guadalajara. It's going to depend on where the WTA finals are, because at the minute we don't know whether they're in Europe, America,
That's ridiculous.
or Saudi Arabia.
It's ridiculous, just like last year. I mean, what will happen is if, let's just say, they end up being in, I don't know, some random place in North America, and then they get like 12 people there on the first day. Well, it's hardly a surprise when you're not. And don't forget media as well. And by the way, I'm someone, of course, that's been a bit frustrated with this with other tournaments in the past, where I've been given press passes, but sometimes like 5 days before the tournament, and it's kind of annoying. Anyway, hopefully the WTA can get their act into gear and just get themselves organized. But of course, that probably won't happen. But Zheng, a double break up. Wow.
Yeah. Ego is not playing San Diego. She didn't enter. So she won't be defending her title. We've got 5 major champions in San Diego, including Victoria Azarenka, Elena Ostapenko, Sloane Stephens, Sophia Kenin. Bianca Andreescu's on the entry list, but she probably won't play given the injury. Paula Podos's pulled out, so she was on the initial tweet. Coco Gauff is supposed to be playing. It depends on whether she's in the US Open final, of course, given the tournament starts on Monday, a week today. Beatrice Haddad-Maia is going. Donna Vekic is going. Karolina Pliskova is in the top 10 seeds. Caroline Garcia is Garcia, Sakari, and Kiza are also there. I can't see news about Zheng Qinwen. It's not giving me a full entry list, unfortunately. So I guess we'll have to see.
I would imagine no, especially now that she's 4th round stroke quarterfinalist. But anyway, listen, back to the present. Is there any way back for Jabeur in this first set?
Well, it's love 15 on the Zheng serve. I mean, look,
there we go.
Many people have come back from double breaks. It's not impossible. It's only for one. I think we've seen this a couple of times in this tournament, right? Lots of moon balls going on, lots of loop on these backhands at the minute. Jabeur gets that one, just making it in the court, but it gives Zheng enough time to hit through a forehand and make it 15-all with a winner. So, yeah, back to the present. Look, Jabeur is a top 10 player, and she's got the talent and the determination to pull a comeback off. No questions asked on that. It's just whether I think it's going to be dependent on how long Zheng is going to maintain this level that she's showing right now. As she serves at 15-all, goes into the net on the first serve. So Eleanor's watching, thinks Ons looks spent. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, given how energy it's probably taken to fight this virus and play these marathon matches. It's 15-all. Zheng in 30-15. Zheng's serve was unreturned. Ghost pointing out, actually, Von Drosova wasn't Von Drosova a double breakdown to Stearns in the first set, or was it one break?
Not to Stearns, no. What you talking about, Von Drosova today?
Yes.
She was just one breakdown. She was down 4-2 in the first set, and then she got it back on serve, and then it went to the tiebreak. And as I say, the tiebreak kind of got away from her at 4-3, Von Drosova. There were a few breaks of serve. I'm just trying to remember now exactly how that panned out.
I mean, you were commentating on it, but it was a few hours ago.
Yeah, I know. And normally I'm not too bad at recollecting, especially like a 3-set match. It's obviously a bit easier than a 5-setter sometimes.
Right.
But I'm just trying to remember now how the second... There was a lot of breaks. There was a double break advantage for Von Drosova in the 3rd set, which went back to 1 break advantage that ended up becoming a double break advantage again. The second set escapes me right now. The second set, I tell you what, listen, just a quick point on the match anyway. Peyton Stearns' level basically just went off from the beginning of the second set. She was really good in the first set. She was dealing with the cross-court lefty forehand to her backhand with consummate ease. But from beginning of the second set, I don't know if it's the injury that was happening down the other end of the court, or she just got distracted by the moment, whether that be the moment of being a setup and close to the quarterfinals. and was just spraying shots
We
wide and
have a
long
break
that was
point.
landing in before. Oh, good. Here we go.
Break point. Jabeur, previous point, brilliant to set it up. And it's a second serve for Zheng. The comeback is on for Jabeur, maybe. Or am I getting ahead of myself? She gets the forehand into play. Forehand to the Jabeur, Zheng backhand. And the Zheng backhand is way long. That, to quote myself, ballooned long. And it was, and it's a break, one of the breaks back for Jabeur.
This is fun.
Yeah. Bring it back.
I love what Ghosty said. He sort of tried to correct himself or make himself clear in the chat, and then he just said, "Yeah, what John said."
I mean, generally, that's what I say.
Yeah.
About most things. Well, no, we tend to disagree on more things. Maybe, I don't know, 50-50.
We do. Yeah. But maybe at the end, when you're just going, you know what, forget it. Yeah, what John said.
Yeah, what John said, yeah. First serve long from Jabeur, gets the second serve into play, but Zheng overhits it, puts it in the net. She looked like she was just trying to rush the stroke to try and go for another monster winner. 15-love to Jabeur.
A consolidation here from Jabeur would certainly make this set very interesting.
Yeah, misses the first serve again. I'm not sure if that was a let or a miss. I think it was a miss. Drops the ball, picks it back up, gets ready for a second serve on Jabeur, puts it in the net, and she's frustrated with herself because she's double faulted.
15 all.
15 all. I'm not sure if Vondroušova's elbow injury was her hitting one. I think it was her right one, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. I'm just watching her holding what I believe to be her right arm, and I kept today even in commentary. Today, even in commentary with Vondroušova, I'm about, she served to the backhand. I'm thinking, no, that's the forehand because she's a lefty.
I do that. Do you know what? I do that so often with lefties, actually.
Yeah.
You're not the only one who does that. I'm so used to commentating on righties. So to answer your question, Ghost, yeah, Vondroušova will probably try and play the next round. If there is a major issue with that elbow, though, I'm not convinced it's going to hold up against the battering keys is going to give it. Forehand from Zheng is on the attack, and Jabeur goes long. It's 30 all.
Yeah, I think she'll take the court and just fingers crossed that she's probably feeling better than she did today, because I do think maybe another opponent would have punished her.
Yeah. Was that Stern's inexperience, maybe?
Maybe the occasion, yeah.
Or maybe she's just, not...
I mean, listen, I'll never know unless she said something in her press conference afterwards, but there were lots of very winnable points, and she was spraying like wide, long, whatever. And of course, the other contrast is that she was not doing it in the first set. I mean, it was just, maybe she just couldn't keep that level up. But
which you need to against Vondroušova at the minute, because that's the level Vondroušova is currently bringing.
Indeed.
Second serve from Jabeur to try and close this game out. Forehand in the middle of the court, goes long to deuce. And there's a few unforced errors that are definitely present in this Jabeur game that are just not helping her right now. This is going to make her life a little bit harder. 26 minutes on the clock. We're on game 7. Deuce into the net on the first serve, and Jabeur looks a little just sort of stretched her shoulders. I could tell that was a frustrated movement. Grubices goes for the second serve, just about gets it in. Backhand, middle of the court. Backhand, Zheng up the line. Winner advantage to the Chinese to restore the double break. I mean, at the minute, it's a mixture of Jabeur is not doing enough, but also Zheng is punishing everything. She is putting Jabeur under so much pressure right now. All this power hitting. I think against anyone, this would be a real fight. Jabeur goes for a second serve. Forehand into the net from Jabeur. It's another break. It was fairly limp. Zheng is heading back to the chair. She will serve at 5-2 for the first set. And we're only about half an hour into this.
I said it would get interesting if Jabeur could hold, but of course, sadly, from her perspective, she could not.
I think it's a pick from Anastasia, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a video, but I have just paused it at the video. I think, to be honest with you, I think we're okay to play videos that are privately taken. It's ones, of course, that have like a stamp of whatever outlet is in the corner. But anyway, I've just frozen the video anyway. So yes, this is at the beginning of the match with obviously Zheng on the left. Sorry, Zheng on the right. I'm getting my lefts and rights confused again. Even here, I've got no excuse on this occasion. And Jabeur there on the left, obviously decked out in all black. This Lotto number, by the way, I was watching the sort of male version on Borna Goyo yesterday, and he was drenched in it. I mean, he literally looked like he'd just come out the sea wearing this Lotto thing, this Lotto t-shirt. I don't know whether it's just a super sticky, sweaty t-shirt, but I remember Jabeur sort of putting it to the test as well, and to some extent again today. I don't know whether it's the fabric.
It's a clothing brand.
Yeah, Lotto is a clothing brand. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. I wondered why you looked perplexed. I was like,
I have no idea what you're on about.
They say to me that he watched Borna Goyo looking dry as a bone and doesn't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Lotto is a brand that actually Berrettini used to wear, but he switched over to someone.
Hugo Boss, I think, right?
Boss, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Obviously, not that big in the tennis world, but I think they're probably pretty set when they've got Matteo Berrettini on the books. Zheng is coming out now to serve for the set. I mean, going on a bit. Actually, I have to say, so I did catch some of the Swiatek match last night. I did wake up.
Did you?
I watched it from 2-2 in the first set to 3-love in the second in the decider. I when he got to 3-love, I was like, that's it. She's not winning it. I'm getting some sleep, and turned it off. Love 15, by the way. Zheng putting a shot backhand into the net. That's definitely the more vulnerable side. Jabeur is clutching her right elbow, and flexing it between points. That's not a good sign. But I'll go back to the Iga point in a second when Zheng has served here. Oh my gosh, that was a ridiculously long serve. That ended up in almost near the baseline. Are you seeing it? Have you caught up?
No, I haven't. No. And I'm just waiting to see it because, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Backhand to the backhand, Jabeur to the backhand of Zheng, but it's gone long, 15-all. Yeah, my point about Iga was I genuinely have never seen, after that first set, I've never seen her so sweaty before. Never, like her. I'm not surprised she went for that shirt change after the first set, because I've never seen her that drenched in sweat before. Which I thought was interesting. And definitely I'm seeing what you mean by this. Oh, that's Lotto. Okay, I didn't know that's what that brand was. It's definitely not soaking up the kind of humid conditions of New York very well.
Exactly.
So apologies to Lotto. We're probably not promoting your product very well, but you're not sponsoring us, so it doesn't matter.
There goes sponsorship. Oh,
double fault from Zheng. Yeah, 15-30. Little bit of nerves coming into play, I would think, for the number 23 seed, hoping to get to her first major quarterfinal, where she will be hoping to play Kasatkina, but we know that Sabalenka's probably got something to say about that. Goes for a body serve and gets what she needed because Jabeur can't control it. It's 30-all.
I think the Sabalenka one against Kasatkina is one of the easier matches to predict today. Of course, I could be wrong, and maybe this will get clipped and shown millions of times when Kasatkina wins in straights. But I just find that quarterfinal one of the easier ones. I mean, mind you, I would have probably confidently said Pegula too, but probably even more confident about Sabalenka.
Yeah, I think that match is on Sabalenka's racket, completely on Sabalenka's racket.
As are most Sabalenka matches.
Kasatkina should be able to absorb some of it, but oh my gosh, that's a great return from Jabeur. And right at Zheng's feet. Zheng couldn't control it, puts it in the top of the net, 30-40. Jabeur kind of, gosh, Zheng and Jabeur, that's being a bit of a mouthful for me today. 30-40 for and a chance for Jabeur to break again. And suddenly, this could be another break fest. And Zheng goes wide on the first serve. Not what she needed. Again, she likes that out wide serve. That seems to be her sort of comfort serve, which I'm not surprised given her motion. It's probably the easiest one for her to do. Goes out wide again on second serve. Jabeur attacks it on the return. Zheng comes into the net for a really short ball from Jabeur. Jabeur does one of her trick shots, which goes pretty much halfway between the baseline and the wall, and it's deuce. Yeah, it was kind of like she overran the ball. Zheng kind of hit behind her, and Jabeur just tried to sort of...
yeah, I've seen Jabeur do that
Carlos
before.
Alcaraz style.
Yeah.
Have Carlos Alcaraz and John Jabeur shared a court for an exhibition before? Because if not,
they should. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Eleanor, my initial commentary made it sound like that she didn't need to. Like, she did need to try anyway. Great. Okay, I think that might be a let for Zheng because that looked good, I think.
Damien's going to join us at the end of the set. Sorry, I didn't tell you.
Okay,
I just want to get a quick thought from him at the end of each set.
Cool. Forehand from Zheng to the forehand of Jabeur, which is long, and now we have a set point for Qinwen. I wonder if her Chinese fans are here. She had an army of them surrounding the court at Wimbledon. She was playing it in round 1, and they were very vocal. It didn't help her win the match because Siniakova got it, but it was definitely helped me with the pronunciation as Zheng puts a first serve into the middle of the net, by then like the middle tape, not right in the middle of it. It wasn't that bad. Again, nervy times for Zheng. Goes out wide on the second serve. Backhand from Jabeur. Forehand from Zheng. Forehand in the middle of the court. Tries to change direction. Zheng tries to change direction. Great cross court forehand from Jabeur, who goes back behind. Hits the top of the net. Looks like it might drop over, but it ends up falling on Jabeur's side. Zheng takes the set 6-2. And it's going to be another. It's going to have to be another comeback for Ons Jabeur. Does she have it in her?
Damien, what was the key there in that first set?
Honestly, I just feel like sometimes against like a very talented, pretty aggressive ball striker, it can be very hard for Ons to work her magic, introduce something. We've seen some desperate attempts, like when she was pushed far to the backhand corner and tried to drop shot, in a position where it's never going to work. But maybe there were some positive signs the last game. Especially, she was on top of a few Zheng second serves there. And maybe if she can just maintain that later on, just try to stay on top of the rallies a little bit more. But this very well could be the breakthrough moment for Qinwen Zheng. I don't know if the quarterfinal would be like a true breakthrough moment. I think maybe a true real proper real deal breakthrough would be beating both Jabeur and Sabalenka. But first things first, she has to beat Jabeur first in order to get that step forward, because definitely undeniably it would be a step forward in her career if she was going to win this match, regardless of Jabeur's issues throughout the fortnight.
I mean, Jabeur is getting in on some of the service games of Zheng, so that's something. I mean, not every service game, but from the ones that I remember, there's even that last one, of course, was close. For those tuning in and that are not too familiar, Damien, with Qinwen Zheng, what are her sort of strengths and weaknesses, and why since that French Open match against Iga from about 2 and a bit years ago, why haven't we seen her tearing up the tour?
That's a question that I'm asking myself every day. Well, not every day, but let's say from time to time. And honestly, she is pretty weak on return, I suppose. She also tends to struggle against just opponents who make her play, and also against opponents who are heavier hitters than her. Like, for example, she has a pretty rough matchup against, Samsonova. And then at the same time, she just makes a mess out of a lot of matches against, good defenders, which is fine too. And I think though it's clear that like the ball striking talent that she has, the ability to take the ball early, hit very hard, very flat, is just insane. The first serve as well. She's had some issues with the serve toss as well, the ball toss, and I think most of them are already covered, and I think she's just about very this close to a breakthrough, and she has been for the past year or so. Maybe this is here. She was very close to going out in the third round. Once again, would have wasted a wonderful opportunity. Maybe she does not do it again in this round.
All right, Damien, we'll see you in the background, maybe about 2 points before the end of the set. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. It's just because you're so far ahead of Nick and I with your stream that if we suddenly see you appearing with a Qinwen Zheng scarf going, then we'll know already what's happened in the match.
No, I appeared when it was not yet done. So
good. Yeah, I thought you did, because I mean you were there for about 40, maybe even a minute or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't done yet. It was like maybe set point for a Zheng or something.
A similar turn will be great at the end of the second set, which of course could be decisive, and we'll speak to you then.
Of course.
Cheers. Okay, Nick.
Zheng is already well in this opening Jabeur service game in this second set, 15-30. Again, still bossing the points on the return. She gets that one in play. Forehand from Jabeur to the backhand of Zheng. Backhand Jabeur up the line. Jabeur gets the forehand just over the net and short. Jabeur has to really lift the backhand there. Changes direction, moving Zheng around. Jabeur tries to go back behind Zheng on the forehand. Zheng changes direction, forces Jabeur for a running backhand. Goes back behind with her own backhand. Well, done Jabeur for getting that in. Now they're moving each other around the court so well. It's so difficult to know who's going to get this. Someone's going to have to make an error. It's Zheng hits an incredible backhand winner, and it's 15-40.
Wow.
Incredible. Like, that was a
great
brilliant rally.
Yeah.
And you're watching it now, probably.
That
final winner, that is like perfect placement right on the corner where the baseline meets the tram line. Right there. Honestly, I don't think I've seen anyone play that spot on a shot. Great ace from Jabeur to save that first break point, though.
Oh, on Jabeur and draws. I thought her Wimbledon draw was incredibly tough.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
That was a double fault from Jabeur. Game, Zheng. Continue your point, John.
Yeah. I mean, her Wimbledon run was tough, and this one obviously is not brilliant either, playing Zheng in the fourth round in this kind of form. How is she not winning these previous matches in straight sets? Because I don't think her run, Zheng, has been that smooth, has it?
I thought it was going to be tough because Noshkova was in good form apart from Cleveland. Osorio is a tricky player.
No, I'm talking about Qinwen Zheng. How is she not winning these matches in straight sets on the way here? Because Bronzetti and Kanepi both pushed her to 3.
Kanepi, not surprised, because Kanepi is a disruptor and is a much better player than a lot of people give her credit for. So that being a battle with Kanepi wasn't surprised. And Bronzetti's been doing pretty well this year. I think they're fairly even level wise. It's sort of general sort of base level that they bring. And so I wouldn't surprise me if both were inspired to have a battle. So no, I'm not massively surprised that those matches went 3, to be honest.
Well, like I said to Damien just now, though, the good news is that Jabeur can and has been getting in on the Zheng serve at least 2 or 3 service games in the match so far. Either there's been a break or it's very close to another break. The problem is that Jabeur just cannot hold on to her serve.
No, and that's been the big thing, because she is putting Zheng under pressure. She's playing better on the return games, and that's a double fault from Zheng, by the way, to go to love 30.
That's helpful.
Yeah, that's going to help Jabeur a lot. Yeah, I given how that last set ended, it wouldn't surprise me if the second set's a lot scrappier, because Zheng did well to close it out. But yeah, if Jabeur can figure out how to hold serve, that's her key to getting into the match and turning it around.
Yeah, I just like the way you phrased it. She can figure it out how to hold serve. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there is a way of doing it. You find something that seems to work a bit, even if it's just a pattern of play.
Exactly. And, she's, even as an amateur, you kind of sympathize with, if you're not having a great serving day, you find something that suddenly just clicks. It's happened to me. Like I've served like terribly in one set, and then I'm serving, and then suddenly my serve picks up in the second. And I'm like, well, where was this half an hour ago?
Things are looking a bit brighter now for Ons.
Yes, for sure. Great bit of net play there from Jabeur to get to love 43 breakpoint opportunities from Zheng. That was a very assertive point from the Tunisian. But that's a great serve from Zheng, who goes to the other side. T-serve, ace, 15-40. Jabeur wants to see the close call.
Not that they ever get turned over.
Yeah, maybe. I think she just wants to just see it for herself, of sort of like, really? But yeah, she can see it, which is, well in. I think it was just so fast. Kind of a bit of wishful thinking, maybe. Second break point coming up in this game. And it's going to have to be on a second serve because that first one hit the middle of the net.
I want 3 sets. I don't mind if it's one way or the other.
What is it about us and commentating on Jabeur 3-setters?
Oh, yeah, we did it a few times during Wimbledon, of course, yeah.
Yeah, definitely the Sabalenka one. I don't know if we did the Rybakina one.
Somebody did it. I think we did. Somebody did a Rybakina one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we... That's a double fault, by the way, from Zheng to concede the game. That's 2 double faults in that game. 1 game all. Here we go.
Hi, Jake.
John's going to get his wish. 3 sets. Let's go.
Let's see. Fingers crossed. For those of you just tuning in, Qinwen Zheng is doing her shoes up right now on an advert or commercial for tequila, I see. Doorbell Tequila, never heard of that before, but we are available for sponsorship, so do get in touch. But yeah, hi, Jake. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Just click that button below me where it says subscribe and come join the fun.
Oh, great forehand winner from Ons Jabeur to get the opening point of this service game. That's going to help her no end. No end. Yes, if you're enjoying this commentary, which I hope you are, subscribe for more because we will be bringing you as many matches as we possibly can from the remainder of the US Open. Back forehand from Jabeur to the forehand of Zheng. Backhand Jabeur into the net, 15-all. And it's both of them. The backhand is probably the more vulnerable side during the rallies. The backhand of Jabeur is just way too flat right now. She's slapping her thigh and shouting. Ghost bringing us the key stats, which you are absolutely grateful. Thank you so much, Ghost. That's really helpful. You're right. I think that's probably what's happened there is that sort of the Zheng was much more able to get in on second serve than Ons was able on the Zheng second serve. Up the tee from Ons, backhand, goes for the drop shot, doesn't even reach the net. Well, kind of flumps into the net really kind of limply. The drop shot, 2 attempts at the drop shot, neither of them good. Yeah, you've just seen it. Yeah, it's a pretty limp drop shot, 30-all.
Yeah.
Goes out wide on the serve, Jabeur. Now goes the other direction with the forehand. The forehand's firing. That was a great winner. Great +1. Zheng well out of court, having to run all the way to the other side. Wasn't going to reach it. 40-30. Chance for Ons Jabeur to hold serve for the first time since the opening game of the match.
Yeah, right. I knew there'd been a lot of breaks. I didn't realize it was that long ago that she held.
No, I hadn't realized that either. But it dawned on me, it's like, oh, hang on a minute. It's been that long. It's been almost 40 minutes since she held serve. And she's held it because the return from Zheng is long and she's striding back to her chair. Jabeur's husband and coach are on their feet. Coach is applauding. Here we go. 2-1, Jabeur. The comeback is on.
I'm going to make a quick cup of tea, and in the meantime, we're going to have a 60-second break. Do we know if she's playing in San Diego next week? Because if she is, we might get to interview her, even if it isn't me.
On the Jabeur?
No, Shea
Qinwen.
Suwei.
Oh, Shea Suwei. Oh, I have no idea.
No idea. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay. Well, we'll do what we can, Max. We've had plenty of interviews thus far this year and cameos from various players on both the ATP and WTA tours. I'm just going to leave you for 30 seconds while I go and retrieve my tea.
Right, go for it. Yes, so obviously, for those of you who are new, who may not know what that was all about, pre-US Open, pre every slam, I will do a power ranking of who I think is most to least likely of winning the tournament. So obviously, I put Iga Swiatek as number 1 favorite, on Jabeur as number 8 favorite. So far, not too bad. 9 out of 10 made round 3. 7 out of 10 made round 4. It's kind of all falling apart at the minute, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Ostapenko or Keys won the tournament and completely blew my power rankings out the water. But hey, you know what? Fair play to them. They kind of denied form, and that's what they were based on. It was based purely on form going in. I think Keys was potentially on the list. I think Keys was on the list to potentially get in there on the long list, but Ostapenko was not. Ostapenko was not looking good before yesterday, really, to be honest. But oh well. But hey, look, let's face it. It would just be poetry if for 3 consecutive slams where I've done the power ranking, someone who wasn't on it either wins it or comes close to winning it. It's 30 love, by the way, on the Zheng serve. Goes way long on the first serve, and is getting ready for the second. Here we go. Goes body serve, really short, has to come in behind, looped up, and Jabeur's attempt at a pass is wide. 40 love. Yeah, that was there was a really kind of return from Jabeur that kind of clipped the top of the net and kind of died, and Zheng had to come in.
Yeah, but then Zheng did well with it, with that nice little spinny sort of backhand slice.
It was quite a high risk shot, to be honest, but it worked really well because Jabeur struggled to pick it up. That was the kind of risky shot you'd expect Jabeur to do.
Yeah.
First serve into the net from Zheng, trying to close this game out and make this set might be a little bit more competitive. It's definitely more competitive than the first, which is probably for the best. Up the tee with that serve, comes into the net to try and finish it. Jabeur lifts it up, and yeah, it's just a simple overhead for Zheng, who doesn't even try very hard with it. She knows Jabeur's not going to run for it, and gets the game to love 2-all.
Eleanor, I listen, in terms of the power rankings, I think 8 solid predictions or estimations, that's she's probably a better word for it. And I think Damien, even hard to please Damien, was like, yeah, can't really argue much with those first 8. My only issue is with Maria Sakkari
It was optimistic.
It's a good word for it.
I mean, look, as I was saying that, I'm saying, you know, when you went out like 9 out of 10 made round 3.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So
the one that didn't was Sakkari.
Yeah, and Rebecca, I guess, stands out in terms of the fact that she went out in round 3 and didn't make it to the semis. But
what about Swiatek being 1 and going out in round 4?
Now, with each one it falls. But listen, you've got to put Swiatek 1. You got to. I mean, I've gone for Sabalenka to win the title, but my power rankings would have her at 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
you know, you're just going on, you know, pedigree basically, and this is what. You know, for those of you that have never watched a tennis match before, this is probably what you. If you were a bookmaker, that's kind of what a power rankings is, as much as anything else. If you were a bookmaker, this is who you'd be making, you know, favorite, second favorite, and third favorite. But we know bookmakers don't necessarily follow that. I guess I should include Siegmund in that list. Is that for power rankings, or is that a different list? I'm not. Maybe
I don't want to know with Ghosty. Love 30, by the way. Jabeur put a backhand long and is frustrated, and she's put a first serve into the net, which is not going to help her here. Does not need to go to a breakdown already. Backhand into the net again. The backhand into the net is quite a common sight at the minute, and we're now at love 40.
The difference between the return positions of first and second serve from Zheng is quite significant.
Okay, I'd be interested to hear that observation.
It's just quite a big gap.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'll have to watch her. So she's here. She's way behind the baseline. The first serve return. First serve has gone in. Slice from Zheng is wide. 15:40. First break point opportunity missed by Zheng. I'm going to say that.
Breaking a run of 7 points in a row for her.
Yeah. I was just trying to work out how many points was that in a row, but yeah, you're right. It's 7. That was easy. Here we go. Jabeur. First serve is it's let. First serve was let. I did think the pace came off it quite a bit. It did land in the corner, but obviously it was a let. So she's trying again, goes wide. Here we go. And then Zheng steps in. I can see what you mean. She's still behind the baseline for this second serve return. Mid-court serve from Jabeur, goes really wide on the backhand, then tries to move Zheng around with the backhand, does well with the backhand up the line. Another point saved, 30-40. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That backhand is not backhanding right now.
It's a great one. That backhand is not backhanding right now.
I might use that when I next summarize my next tennis match. 30-40. Jabeur, one more break point to save as a second serve. Backhand middle of the court from Zheng, and the forehand is wide from Jabeur. Zheng breaks 3-2. And it's a set in the break up against the number 5 seed. Ghibli thinking that Zheng should really win this now. Well, stranger comebacks have happened.
Yeah, that forehand was loose from Ons. Like all tennis matches, or not all, but a lot of tennis matches, there are sort of 2 stories unfolding. One from Jabeur in terms of unforced errors. It will be interesting to know if these physical issues that she's had in the previous 3 rounds are catching up with it. It might not be. It might just be, one of those days. But of course, on the other side of the net, this is a masterclass almost from Zheng, and bodes pretty well for the rest of her career. As Damien suggested, it's kind of a mystery for a lot of tennis fans as to why she hasn't kicked on since that match against Iga Swiatek. From memory, that was 2021 French Open. 2022, sorry, yeah. And I think she was the only person to take a set off Iga that run, right?
Yes, she was, yeah. And she did pretty well. Like, she stunned her with her big hitting in that first set. Iga figured her out in set 2, and set 3 was pretty competitive, but Iga had the edge. It was, but yeah, Zheng,
there were some physical issues for Zheng that day, right?
There were some physical issues, but I do think they gave Swiatek the opportunity because Zheng picked herself back up in the third set and played better.
Yeah, that's right. It was set 2 when she sort of went away for a little while. I'm just getting the score up for me and also for the audience right now.
So yeah, that was the score. But yeah, the first few games of set 3 were pretty competitive. It could, but I think once Swiatek broke, she ran away in that set. Ace to start this game off from Zheng, 15-love. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think some people were like, okay, well, what's the next step for Zheng? And it's taken a bit longer than expected, but we've had plenty of other players like that, to be honest, over the years. She's finally won her first title, the WTA Tour.
Yeah.
Which helped her out a lot. Interestingly, much more comfortable on clay, despite her game. Prefers clay overall. Still doesn't mind.
The notable results have been on clay, as we mentioned with that French Open run last year, and also that Palermo, I think, was where the place where she won that title.
Jabeur has gone long with the backhand, 30-love. So at the minute things are looking out for Zheng. I think what's it currently? 10 points to 2, last 12 points. Great first serve from Zheng, and then follows that with a great +1 from the mid-court, 40-love.
For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe.
Yeah, we do lots of commentaries like this, as well as brilliant kind of podcast episodes before the start of play at the US Open, plus weekly updates from both tours. Zheng puts the first serve off the top of the net and next to the umpire's chair. So second serve coming in, and fully love what's going to happen. The run of points going to end. Forehand from Jabeur is way long. That is a ballooned. That is where the ballooned word comes, and it's a hold to love for Zheng Qinwen. That is, she has won 8 consecutive points on serve. She is 12-2 over the last 14 points.
I thought you were going to say this is liquid tennis. I don't know if you know that expression from a commentator regarding football.
I've never heard that. I mean, how would you describe liquid tennis?
I don't know. It's Alan Partridge. He goes, "That's liquid football."
Okay. I thought, do you know what? I genuinely thought that was a genuine commentator line, to be honest. But of course, it's a Partridge. 15 love, by the way. Jabeur ace out wide to start off. Really great serve there, but that following serve is into the net. And we've got plenty of other football, soccer analogies going on in the chat. Backhand from Zheng, cross court. Jabeur lifts it up. Zheng on the attack. Jabeur goes for the passing shot. Winner. What a shot. Favorite shot on Jabeur. Forehand on the run. She shakes it in determination. 30 love. Now she's trying to build her own run of points.
Yeah, she's going to need to do something pretty quick, of course. 4-2 down here in this second set.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the best point Jabeur's played all match, really. Just fantastic. That was if you want a quintessential Jabeur point, that was it. Running forehand, passing shot, physically impressive, spectacular results. Second serve for Jabeur at 30 love. Zheng Qinwen, big backhand winner, 30-15. Backhand return winner.
Ghibli, you're going for it. He's not giving up on me in the chat, Ghibli, regarding a certain football match this weekend.
Oh no! Oh no! We don't look. We're not mentioning that. I mean, I'm not a Man United fan, but that's just cruel.
Yeah.
Oh, forehand wide from Jabeur off another big return from Zheng that was right at her feet and end up in the tram lines, and suddenly it's 30 all after feeling pretty good from that spectacular running forehand. Couple of great Zheng Qinwen returns has put her right back in this game.
Somebody's showing some optimism in the chat for Daria Kasatkina. I'm not so optimistic, but I like the logic.
Inside forehand winner from Jabeur to get to 40-30. I'm not ruling out Kasatkina that quickly. I saw a video from someone doing a podcast, I can't remember which one, saying that Daria Kasatkina was her dark horse to come through. And I was like, no, your reasoning's sound. I genuinely think if Aryna Sabalenka is nervous in any way, Daria Kasatkina is going to capitalize. It's all on Sabalenka, really. Forehand from Zheng is too heavy. Jabeur can't pick it up, it's put it in the net. And John is trying to process what I just said, clearly.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a certain poetry of like 1 and 2 going out in the 4th round, and suddenly the US Open dissolves into chaos. And 3 with Pegula. No, Pegula's 4th. No, Pegula's 3rd seed, right?
Pegula 4th seed, Rebecca in a 3rd, right?
That's right. Yeah,
I think.
Backhand into the net from Jabeur.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll have to check it. Backhand into the net from Jabeur. Advantage Zheng. And if Zheng gets this, she's serving for the match at 5-2. And suddenly this all ran very after hoping for Jabeur, like after looking fairly competitive early on, Zheng's really kicked it into gear here. Really
Jabeur
impressive.
got one of the 2 breaks back, and I think it was around about 3-2, 4-2 in the first set. And it was like, okay, if Jabeur can hold here, I said it'll make it very interesting. And then that's basically the last. I mean, she could still hold serve here.
She does. Well, she could still, because Zheng has put a backhand into the net as the first real kind of critical unforced error from Zheng, trying to go for an up the line sort of shot, either as a winner or as a way of moving wrong footing Jabeur. Weirdly, Zheng's first serve in play is just ridiculously low. It's in the 30s. But she doesn't need it to be. Great net defense from Jabeur. Oh, but she puts the overhead into the top of the net. Oh, she's defending so well at the net, looking to take control of the point, and she puts it in there. It's another break point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it touched the tape, but still.
I mean, if it just a little bit higher up the tape, maybe it would have dribbled over on Zheng's side. But yeah, wasn't ideal, and she's doubled over. Has Jabeur given all she's got at this UC Open just to get to the 4th round? Does it just and that's not a criticism of her talent. That talk about her energy levels from this virus. Out wide on the serve, forehand Jabeur. Zheng runs for hers. Backhand Jabeur into the net. Another backhand unforced error. Zheng yells in celebration. She will be serving at 5-2 for the match.
Yes, indeed, Ghibli. I will respond to this one at least. Although I'm sure there's a Manchester United metaphor or analogy. I always get those two things confused at some point. Zheng's going to serve for the match at 5-2, and this has been a pretty quick match. It's still been quite competitive. Jabeur's level, I think, has been a bit off at times. It's just over an hour now on the clock, but a long way back now for the Tunisian.
Yeah, I mean, let's take another thing away. The fact is that you're talking about, so there's often two stories at the side of the net, and one player could make a load of unforced errors, but the fact is that doesn't mean the other player isn't. Like, I've watched matches where both players are committing horrific unforced errers.
US Open final, men's final team against
I actually didn't see that. I listened to it on the radio, which is probably the more bearable way of consuming it by the sound of it. I have gone back and watched the tiebreak on YouTube, but yeah, that wasn't pretty. But hey, you know what? This is why I have to say, hey, look, just because you're winning, hey, you're benefiting from your opponent's unforced errors. Great. You still have to be playing well enough to win the points when your opponent's not making the unforced errors. And that's what's happening here. Zheng is, and I would say, for a large part of the second set, Zheng is taking control, and she was really putting Ons under a lot of pressure, and Ons wasn't dealing with it. And that's how I'm reading this match, really. Like, maybe Ons in a healthier state could deal with it better, but I still think it would be a very close match if Jabeur was playing at even a slightly higher level.
Yep, I agree.
Great serve from Zheng, but goes for the inside-out forehand winner from the mid-court, and missed it, so love 15.
Here comes the comeback.
That would be some comeback, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, double breakdown at 5-2.
I mean, I almost pulled off one of those a couple of weeks ago. I was 6-1, 5-1 down. I got it back to 5-4, serving, and had a point for 5-5 and double faulted, ended up losing 6-4 in the set. Oh, great net play from Jabeur and Van Jabeur. Zheng was way too close. What match am I watching? I'm sorry, I've skipped ahead to the quarterfinals already. It's the Wimbledon final over again. Zheng was almost too close there to be able to pick it up. Well handled by Jabeur. Love 30. Zheng is not necessarily had it easy when trying to serve these things out, and has gone wide on the first serve. Can Jabeur extend this match? Can she find whatever it takes to pull off a comeback? Goes out wide, forehand from Jabeur, forehand up the line from Zheng, and then goes back behind Jabeur, who was trying to cover the cross court, almost runs to the complete other side of the court in the opposite direction to the ball, 15-30. Great play from Zheng there. First point on the board. She's 3 points away from winning it, but she's also 2 points away from extending this match. So, such is the beauty of the tennis scoring system.
Indeed.
First serve into the net. unsurprisingly, given her low serving stats.
Yeah, like 70% or something like that, or 30% in.
It's 30%. It's I do not understand how like this is like didn't Rebecca win the Wimbledon final with like 50% first serves, as it's a double fault from Zheng and it's 15-40.
I guess today at least, and maybe historically too, it's testament to her second serve. That's what it suggests to me, that if she's winning so many service games but with so few first serves landing in, it's either a testament to the second serve or her first serve is so phenomenal that she can get away with 30%.
Yeah, maybe they're sort of clumping together when she needs it, or 25 and she's and also Jabeur's made 25 unforced errors thanks to Ghost's data mining for us. I genuinely don't know what we do without your stats, Ghost, because you always bring them up at the most useful times.
But then he does put an asterisk saying caveat is that they are TNNS, and TNNS is a little sketchy sometimes.
True, yeah. They weren't miles off. You know, you got the TNS stats for the.
We've got a double fault there, I think, from Zheng again. So
yeah, I said that.
Sorry.
Did I say that?
I remember you saying it for the previous point. Anyway, back-to-back double faults.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's right. Back-to-back double faults. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's not good timing. Well, it's never good timing for a double fault. Double faults, but...
I mean, you're right. It's never as good time. I mean, 40... I think 6 love, 5 love, 40 love. Yeah, I think you can accept a double fault at that juncture.
It depends on what happens after that point, doesn't it? If it's then like a comeback and you lose 6 love 6 7-5 6 love, then it's not great. Love 15 for Zheng gets the opening point on this Jabeur service game.
I mean, there's so much in on the Jabeur serve. I mean, there was like you said, it was like a set and a half before Jabeur could hold serve.
Yeah, and then still struggled after that. There's always, our chat's so musical, isn't it? 15 all, by the way, unreturned serve. Zheng puts the backhand into the top of the net. I always feel like it's usually pretty good music taste, to be fair. In our
yeah, I see some Chili Peppers in there right now.
Forehand from Jabeur, winner, 30-15. She's going to be hoping to put the pressure on Zheng and say, hey, remember what happened last time you served for the match? Remember?
It's a good forehand winner, that was.
Great. I mean, the forehand's been doing some great forehanding this match. Just going to keep doing that.
All these votes for Jabeur, of course, I'm guessing they came quite a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, everyone, like you and I were both going, yeah, Jabeur's winning this. I think Damien was if we'd had Damien on, he'd probably say Zheng, because that's who he picked pre-tournament. But great forehand from Jabeur. She comes in behind on an approach shot of a short ball. Doesn't need to come all the way to the net, though, because that was a brilliant forehand winner. 40-15. First serve is missed from Jabeur. That's not necessarily going to panic her too much, given where she's at in this game. Goes second serve up the middle, backhand in play from Zheng, and the forehands in the net from Ons. 40-30. So that was a little bit of a messy one. I mean, like, there was a tough return to pick up, but you would imagine Ons just needs to make that forehand, really.
Yeah, it wasn't that tough, I don't think, to pick up.
Yeah.
It wasn't
second serve again for Ons Jabeur.
Oh, yeah, for Jabeur, yeah.
Yeah, second slice from Jabeur. Forehand Zheng inside out. Slice again from Jabeur into the net. Deuce. It was a big forehand from Zheng that was quite deep, and I think in many ways Jabeur oversliced it, but it was. You could also call it a force error given the velocity at which that forehand was coming at her. But still not great signs for Ons. That backhand has not helped her today. Backhand in play from Zheng. They're trading backhands again. And it's inside out, wild backhand in just on the edge of the tram line, but the doubles tram line, not the singles tram line. And it is advantage to Zheng, her first match point. And it was all looking good for that comeback.
She does this. Jabeur does this. I've seen it a few times when she's put a forehand wide or long, but
missed the first serve again. Her first serve deserts her. Has deserted her since 40-15 in this match. Backhand in play from Zheng. Backhand cross court from Jabeur. They're trading backhands. Jabeur goes in the attack with the forehand. Zheng picks it up but can't get it back. Great work from Jabeur to force the error and save the match point. Deuce.
I do think Zheng is desperate to get this done, though, on the Jabeur serve. I was just watching her breathing and, obviously trying to stay cool in this situation. I think she'd love to get it done on the Jabeur serve rather than having to go through the nerviness of trying to serve it out for a second time.
Let's see how long we have Damien waiting for us backstage. Will it be 2 minutes?
I'm not looking at him. I've actually looked at a different screen.
Will it be 2 minutes or will it be half an hour? Forehand from Zheng, backhand from Jabeur, forehand from Zheng up the middle of the court. Jabeur goes for the forehand, backhand sliced by Jabeur. Drop shot. Zheng comes in, can't get it over the net. That's the first drop shot that's worked for Jabeur all match, and she has a game point. She finally, I was going to call it a slight angle, but it became a drop shot. What a wonderful drop shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Zheng could have got it back. It wasn't that.
I mean, it was a classic one, though, where it's just almost impossible to get it back over the net in terms of it hits the tape. But so many of these shots I see do end up hitting the tape. I mean, it's sort of tape on almost the post.
Here we go. Backhand return from Zheng is too good, and Ons struggles to pick it up, and it's back to deuce. I mean, some of these Zheng returns are like, we're always saying about her first serve and sort of being in less than 40%. Her returns have been absolutely killing it today.
Even if this ends up being a straight set, each game in it as an entity has been a lot of fun.
Is there hope? Ghost, there's always hope in tennis. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, almost always. Maybe if you're a Diego Schwartzman fan, I'm not sure. Not sure I'd be offering too much right now.
Jethro has left the chat. That was an excellent forehand winner from Jabeur. Wonderful angle, top spin, kicks off the line. And looked like it might have been going out. I don't think Zheng was moving for it because she wasn't sure. Too good, advantage, Jabeur. And doesn't get the first serve, unfortunately. Doesn't get the first serve. I thought maybe she got that one, but not quite. Second serve, backhand in play from Zheng is a winner. That was it's kind of checked. Oh, wait, hang on. It might have been, it was a let.
Oh, good.
Second, Zheng attacks on the forehand, then goes to the backhand side of Jabeur, hoping to draw another error. But it's Zheng's own error, under pressure on the backhand, doesn't even make the doubles court, and they will change ends, and Zheng's going to have to serve for this match again, having lost a couple of match points. This is not over. Ons fans, there is hope. But we know how it is for Ons fans. It's always a roller coaster with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say I enjoyed the roller coaster. Last time we commentated on her when she was in the semi-final at Wimbledon against Sabalenka.
I mean, listen, the quarterfinal and semi-final had a happy ending, if you like, for Ons and most neutrals as well. The problem is that those individual results will now not quite be forgotten, but you know what I mean, because of what happened in the final. It's sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because obviously I enjoyed commentating on that match so much, I'm always going to remember that semi-final.
Yeah. Can you look at results can you think of a Federer quarterfinal, semi-final that you loved, and then he ended up losing the final?
2019 against Nadal at Wimbledon.
Okay, yeah, that's nice, and that was also a good way to finish that rivalry for Federer fans in particular.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So you can look at that with fondness, even though the final didn't.
Oh yeah, I love that match. It was great. Federer and Nadal made it a tough fight as well. And Federer
it was great. I mean, Nadal was poor, probably for certainly the first 2 sets, but just surprisingly, I tipped Nadal to win that match, but yeah, you can look at that because it was a nice sort of bookend to the rivalry, but even a bookend to the mini rivalry that they developed in the last couple of years, where actually Federer turned that rivalry around by winning, I'm going to say something like 6 out of the last 7 matches or 6 out of
Yeah,
the
it was
last 8.
something like that. I think the only one he lost was that French Open semi-final, which he was never going to win on clay, let's be honest.
And but even Lubicic is annoyed about that. He says if it wasn't so windy, he thinks could have been a different result. But
optimistic, and I'm talking as a
yeah,
Federer
I know.
fan.
I thought that, but oh well.
Federer fan here will concede that he never had a hope against Nadal at Roland Garros. Few people do. Backhand we're into the new game here, and it's a long rally here. Jabeur goes for a forehand, misses it. 15-love to Zheng, 3 points away. 3 points away from the upset. I mean, technically an upset, right?
Technically an upset, but it's not
a shock. Zheng is someone we've been waiting to break through.
Yeah. And both seeds, and Jabeur has been looking shaky. And I mean, I tipped Jabeur to win, but sort of 55, 60, 40, something like that.
Yeah. Forehand inside out from Zheng, who again, paints the line with that forehand. 30-love. This is probably going to upset Miles because you won't believe this. He actually picked Jabeur to win the tournament. Actually, you probably would believe. You probably watched WTA Weekly, but I was like, really?
Yeah,
you can see that happening. But
Miles, how is Miles' reputation when it comes to making predictions? I don't know.
Not marginally worse than mine.
I'm surprised he didn't go Jabeur. Bearing in mind, I think he's sort of I'm surprised he didn't go Sabalenka.
I don't know. He got
not many people. Every time I put a poll out there, and I'll probably have to stop doing it now because there's not so many candidates. But oh wow, good serving.
Yeah, great serve from Zheng to set up 40-love, 3 match points on her serve this time. She's handled this game so much better than the last one. Maybe it's the end. As in the end, she's on. Not necessarily the end of the match, but maybe it is the end of the match. First serve into the net. Second serve.
I thought you meant the end.
Yeah. I realised what I said when I said it. Backhand in play from Jabeur, winner. Jabeur giving Zheng a taste of her own medicine with backhand winners on return. And it's 40-15. And it's a second match point saved. What a... it's just not over yet. Is someone wearing a Roger Federer cap in the ONS camp? They have taste.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
They have taste. If you couldn't work it out, I'm a Roger fan and John's a Rafa fan. Great serve from Zheng, but just gets it over the net. And Zheng, it just crept over the net. Zheng had to really chase it down and lifted the backhand over the baseline. And another match point saved, 40-30. I'm not going to say that was completely...
I apologise. That was a mishit return.
That was a complete mishit. I've done that before. But hey, she's not going to complain. She got a racket on it.
Yeah, true. Make your own luck.
Qinwen, 4th match point. Serves. Back in play. Forehand Zheng. Forehand arms into the net. It's all over. Zheng raises her hands in the air and then roars in celebration. She is into her first Grand Slam quarterfinal, and she will play either Daria Kasatkina or Arina Sabalenka. Damien Kust, you saw this coming, right?
I mean, what do you mean? Did I pick Zheng to win? Obviously, I think the real test of has Zheng put it all together yet has to be postponed until the quarters. This was not a real match. Jabeur was not fully fit. Jabeur was playing like she was all week, basically, which is very, very mediocre stuff. I will be the first to admit that Zheng did not have to do all that much in the second set. Obviously she then had some nerves trying to finish it off. I think it was it was pretty true that like the last few games of the first set, when Jabeur was a bit more aggressive, she continued in that manner. But yeah, it was just such a big mess, and yeah, she just was never really close to touching Zheng here. I am, happy that Zheng is in the quarters. It's been long overdue, but we haven't really had like that proper test against a big name yet. Against a big name that was, going to play at 80% at least of her peak level, and Jabeur wasn't able to do that today for this reason or the other. Maybe we'll learn more later. She was clutching her elbow quite a lot. But yeah, now she plays Sabalenka probably, or Kasatkina, and this would be a huge step forward if she can win there. Here, yeah, it just wasn't a real clash against the top 5 seed, I think.
Did you see the Zheng serving stats of around about 30 to 35%?
Yeah.
Did that take you by
the
surprise, or is that a common trait?
I mean, that's how it looked. The Boltas issues, I think, at some point came back with like real force, and yeah, she has like a super strong first serve, but it's also really it's not like she every day she comes out and has makes this shot a legit weapon, despite the power. And today was probably not the day.
I'm sharing her previous results on the screen because I highlighted it to Nick earlier, saying, why, sort of given the level that we know she's capable of, and I think she did reach that level today despite some of the difficulties that Jabeur had. Why is she struggling to sort of make it to fourth rounds? And just looking on the screen, okay, she crushes. There's sort of it's no half measures with her. It's either crushing an opponent or it's tough. It's 6-2 in the third. It's 6-4 in the third over Bronzetti, for example.
Against Bronzetti, it was much tougher than it looks. 2-4 game points for Bronzetti, 4-all, like some ridiculous defense from Zheng actually, and Bronzetti missing an easy drive volley at deuce. Yeah, it was just a big mess that never should be happening for her against players like Bronzetti. I'm sorry to Lucia and Mario, who maybe is watching it go. But yeah, I just think that this should not be happening to her at this stage. And the whole year, basically, she lost to Putintseva at the French, great counter puncher, defender, right? She lost to Bernarda Pera, who just sort of controls play with lefty spin at the Australian Open. Siniakova at Wimbledon, I guess you can sort of understand, especially with how Zheng's movement on grass has been absolutely woeful so far. But yeah, these are the losses that have been happening to her at slams. And like, if she lost to Lucia Bronzetti here in the third round, we would have said, okay, nothing has changed. Like, nothing has improved. She didn't lose, but it was, of course, like super random. It was super tricky. She had to come back from a basically from a very rough situation. She got that match against Jabeur where Ons was clearly not 100%. Well, both in terms of fitness and also in terms of just her game. So I don't know if she's actually made that step forward. We'll see, but definitely that match against Sabalenka or Kasatkina will tell us more. And I actually, Ghosty is like sort of hinting at, I don't like her matchup against Sabalenka at all. So I am hoping it will be Kasatkina, even with how tricky she can be, as a defender. That would be also a good opportunity for Zheng to show the progress that she's made, while maybe just not getting overwhelmed as much. Has Zheng played Sabalenka? If she did, I'm assuming that it was not pleasant.
Feel free to jump in with a question at any point, Nick. But Damien,
no, she has not. She has not. Yeah.
They've not played each other yet, right? What about Ons now, Damien? Where are we? Are we fearing the worst? It's going to be at least another 4 or 5 months for her to have another slam chance. I'm thinking she's 30, or she may even be 30 by the time the Australian Open comes around. Either way, it's touch and go. Australia also is not probably the slam that we sort of would associate with her and having a chance. So it could be almost a year before we go into a Grand Slam with her. I mean, it just sort of this story. It could be that she's a permanent bridesmaid on the WTA tour.
Ons turned
Very-
29 last week.
Oh, okay. So she's not going to be 30 for a while. Thank you, Nick, for that.
Very
But-
well could be. You know, she's definitely got the best chance at on natural surfaces. I think grass, clay. That's going to be where she can shine. You know, that's sort of just the magical skill set that she has on clay and also on grass, but also on grass the way she was absorbing and redirecting power at Wimbledon. But yeah, the match against Vondrousova was of course a big opportunity missed. And I'm not talking about playing Vondrousova in a slam final. That does not have to be a huge opportunity missed. It was because of how Jabeur played in that one and how weak she was mentally, even compared to the previous two finals that she played, you know, against Rybakina and Świątek, where I don't think she did that much wrong. She just ran into some extremely strong opposition and, well, played like decent matches. And against Vondrousova, it was just a nightmare. So that was a big deal, and it might end up costing her, being a Grand Slam champion. It's possible. At this stage, like for me, I don't know. It's hard to rate her chances, but it's certainly not like I wouldn't say that it's very likely she actually wins this time. I would say it's probably, I don't know, maybe under 50%.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Eleanor, they're saying very brutal. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm guessing the expression bridesmaid is quite common in other languages. Of course, Qinwen Zheng, by the way, will not be thinking about being the bridesmaid. She'll be thinking about being the bride at this particular tournament as she awaits the winner of Kazakhina and Sabalenka. Nick, have you got anything to sort of add or ask Damien before we bring this show to a close?
I think that we should definitely say that Zheng handled the situation as best she could. I was really impressed with shots that she played, the opportunities that she took. I just looked at the stats, and I've just realized that she actually won more points on the returning Jabeur's serve than she did on her own, which is probably why she got away with that 39% first serves in. Interestingly, she was 57% second serve points won. There we go. That's the match point. Anastasia. Thanks for sending that in. So, she did what she needed to do to get the situation done, and I think we should be still very impressed with what she's achieved today, even if we are not necessarily confident of what her next step might be.
Just having a quick look at some of the stats here. We have first serve in play. Overall, in the end, it was 40% across the two sets from Qinwen Zheng. But of course, crucially, she's winning almost 70% of those first serves. And she was just always in on Jabeur serve pretty much from the first game where Ons held pretty much for the rest of the match. Unforced errors, of course, tells its story in many respects. 33 off the racket of Ons. It did feel, Damien, as though the backhand of Ons was misfiring in a big way today.
Everything was misfiring in a big way. Like that's how she's played all week, honestly. The past three matches, she has been able to just somehow get over the line anyway. Was that because the opponents were weaker than Zheng? I don't really think that's the case. I think she definitely had some better moments against Noskova in the third set. You know, Osorio definitely shouldn't have been in two sets if Osorio just sort of kept herself straight. And what else is there? Buskova was a huge comeback too. Buskova got a bit injured as well. But yeah, maybe physically she was actually not feeling maybe today was the worst that she was feeling physically. I don't know. We don't know that, but yeah, she was just a hot mess the whole event basically. So a forefront, if you look at it this way, is still actually a really good result. And she had a tough draw to make it as well. Osorio, Noskova, Buskova, that's nightmare first three rounds, and then of course Qinwen Zheng in the forefront is also not an easy opponent.
Indeed. Nick, any final words before we bring this show to a close?
No, it's just been an absolute pleasure commentating as always. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing who else makes the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I agree. All right, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. One thing I just want to repeat that I said during the commentary. I still thought each game was a lot of fun. In a single entity, each game felt 50-50 at various points and was just, unfortunately, Ons would let it go often with an unforced error. Sometimes Qinwen Zheng would be unbelievable as well. But I still thought it wasn't quite the same as some 6-2, 6-4s out there where it's just like, oh, this is just coming. And, I think I saw Ons win very comfortably over Burrell the other day. I think she won a bit more, didn't concede quite so many games as Qinwen Zheng did today. But it didn't always have a 6-2, 6-4. 40-30 in the last game. Ons breaks there, and suddenly who knows where it might go. But that's tennis. Thank you, Tennis World, for stopping by. And to the rest of you, make sure you tune in for our watch-alongs. We've got 2 more still to come on what's been another epic day on Talking Tennis. Damien and I will be the Night Owls once again for Kazakhina Sabalenka. And in the words of Damien, he's not so excited about that match. But he said he'll just pop by anyway because it's tennis. And there we go. But he is excited about Jannik Sinner, Alexander Zverev. I understand where Damien is coming from, but there is optimism out there in the tennis world for Kazakhina in terms of making that match competitive, as Nick highlighted. So let's see if Kazakhina and her mega second serve can trouble Arina Sabalenka later on. Thanks, Nick, for smiling. Damien didn't smile at that, but Nick did. I'm glad he did.
I smirked. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Speak to you both very soon. Obviously, Damien much sooner. And to the rest of you, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Bye.